Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into something really fundamental, persuasion.
Right. The whole art and science of influencing people, it's everywhere.
Totally. It's baked into our biology, our history, philosophy, and now it's meeting AI, artificial intelligence.
And the source material we're looking at, it gives this really fascinating angle. It's exploring persuasion and also human understanding, but like through the lens of what AI makes of it all.
Yeah, it digs into everything, philosophy, biology, history, even touches on math and physics. It's this incredible kind of tapestry of interactions.
It's almost like asking a super smart machine, hey, what do you see when you look at us humans trying to convince each other of stuff?
Exactly. So that's our mission here, to unpack all this. We want to get how persuasion and understanding have, evolved, how AI completely changes the game.
And crucially, what all this means for you, just trying to navigate the world today.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. How does the source define these big ideas?
Well, it frames human persuasion as this complex dance, influencing beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, using everything, really.
Yeah.
Logic, emotion, social cues, information.
It's deeply human. We all do it.
Absolutely. Then there's understanding. For us, humans, it's rich, it's subjective, grasping meaning, significance, connecting ideas, feeling empathy. It involves consciousness. Interpretation.
Okay, but AI, its understanding is different.
Fundamentally different. That's the key point the source makes. AI processes massive data sets. It finds patterns, relationships. It uses that to generate responses, predict things, optimize for a goal.
But no subjective experience, no empathy.
None. It's not conscious. It's a computational construct.
Well.
Powerful, incredibly useful, but not understanding in the human way.
Right, okay. And this is where it gets really interesting. The link between our persuasion and our understanding.
Totally intertwined. The source highlights this. We persuade to shape someone else's understanding.
And your own understanding shapes how easily you can be persuaded. It's a feedback loop.
Constantly going. And AI just jumps right into the middle of that loop.
How so?
Because it's computational understanding, its ability to analyze our behavior from data. Lets it analyze, engage in, and actually generate persuasive stuff.
On a scale we've never seen before.
Exactly. Speed, personalization. It can model how you specifically are likely to react. That's new.
Wow. Thinking about it like that, it really makes you look at history differently, doesn't it? Persuasion itself isn't new.
Not at all. Ancient times, it was tribal, oral. Stories, rituals, leaders trying to get cooperation for survival. Understanding was communal, traditional.
Shamans, storytellers, they held a lot of persuasive power.
Right. Then classical civilizations, they formalized it. Rhetoric, philosophy, think Aristotle, Plato.
Oratory in public forums. That was shaping government, laws, logic became a tool.
Even art, sculpture, theater, used to persuade, to project ideals, power.
Then jump ahead. Middle Ages, religion becomes the main persuasive force, shaping morals, society, beliefs, largely through texts and art meant to inspire faith.
Until the Enlightenment flips it towards reason, science, individualism. Persuasion starts relying more on evidence, logical arguments.
But then, mass media, that was the big amplifier before AI.
Huge. Print, radio, TV didn't change the core of persuasion, but the reach. Exponential. Suddenly you could influence millions.
Which also opened the door for, mass propaganda. We saw that.
Definitely. And that leads us right up to today. The internet, social media, it sort of democratized persuasion, but also fragmented everything.
Echo chambers, misinformation, campaigns targeted right down to your individual clicks.
And now AI is pouring gasoline on that fire. Algorithms analyzing your data, figuring out what buttons to push. Generative AI creating super convincing text, images, video.
All tailored to persuade you. It affects what you buy, who you trust, how you see the world, even how you feel about yourself.
And the source is clear. This isn't just culture or tech. It goes deeper. Biology.
Really? How?
Yeah.
It's not like persuasion is genetic, is it?
Not the messages themselves, no. But the mechanisms. The capacity to persuade and be persuaded. That's tied to our biology.
Our brains are wired for it.
Absolutely. You've got brain areas involve the amygdala for emotion, prefrontal cortex for decisions, reward systems, neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin. They all affect how receptive you are.
Huh. And evolutionarily.
Makes perfect sense. We're social creatures. Persuasion was key for group survival, cooperation, finding mates, getting resources. We evolved to tune into social cues, group norms.
Which makes us naturally susceptible to influence.
Right. Even things like mirror neurons, they might help us empathize, understand intentions, which is crucial for persuasion.
Okay, so if it's that deeply biological, what happens when AI learns how to tap into those mechanisms directly, based on data?
That's the scary and profound question. Can it learn to trigger dopamine hits, bypass rational thought by hitting emotional centers it knows work on you?
Which brings us to the philosophical side the source explores. Like epistemology, how do we even know what's true anymore?
Exactly. Persuasion always makes truth claims. Our understanding tries to figure out if they're valid. But what if AI can just generate plausible lies endlessly?
It makes your job of sorting fact from fiction online way harder.
Immensely harder. And it messes with ontology too, the nature of reality. If AI makes super realistic deepfakes or generates conversations that feel totally real, how do you know what's genuine?
What does it even mean to be human in a world mediated by that kind of engineered influence?
Yeah. The source even brings in physics and math briefly. Physics is just the, mechanics of communication, sound waves, light waves, brain chemistry.
But math, that's the engine for the AI part.
Totally. The algorithms, neural nets, stats models, predictive analytics, they're all math. The source mentions how you can even use models from, like, epidemiology tracking disease spread to model how information or influence spreads through a network.
So math is how AI cracks the code of human influence.
Kind of, yeah. And then there's logic, human logic.
Yeah.
Well, it's messy. Full of biases, emotions, shortcuts.
Heuristics.
AI logic. It's just programming and patterns. It can spot our logical fallacies perfectly.
Or build arguments that look logical but are designed specifically to exploit our biases.
Precisely. It has to learn our irrationality to persuade us effectively. Or maybe the flip side is it can help us see our own biases.
Which connects directly to state of mind beliefs. Persuasion doesn't land in a void. It hits you when you're feeling something: fear, hope, anger, and it interacts with what you already believe.
Yeah, the source mentions things like cognitive dissonance, that discomfort when beliefs clash. Good persuasion navigates that cleverly.
And confirmation bias, our tendency to just look for stuff that agrees with us.
Oh, algorithms love confirmation bias. They feed you more of what you already like, what you already agree with.
Creating those echo chambers, making you less open.
And AI analyzes huge data sets on emotional responses. It learns exactly which emotional buttons to push on different people to maximize persuasive impact on someone just like you.
Okay, let's talk about the direct impact on you, the listener, daily life stuff.
Right, what you buy online. AI recommendations are persuading you, career choices, influenced by online trends, maybe amplified by AI. Relationships. Dating apps use persuasive design. Politics. Constant targeted messages.
And mental health, that's a big one. Social media's curated realities.
Yeah.
Algorithms designed to keep you hooked, that's persuasion. It can definitely fuel anxiety, comparison, depression.
And that core question about autonomy. How much are your decisions really your own when you're constantly being nudged by AI?
It's subtle.
Very. And it affects people around you, too. Persuasion in families, friendships, work. Yeah. AI is getting into those communication channels, too.
And bigger picture, social cohesion. Is this tech bringing us together or driving us further apart? Polarization seems like a major risk.
The world is definitely scrambling to react. Governments are trying to figure out regulations for AI, misinformation, privacy.
There's more public talk about it, more concern. People are thinking about media literacy, critical thinking, ethical AI.
And yeah, there's a tech arms race happening. Companies, states, developing ever more sophisticated, persuasive AI. It's changing culture.
Let's get into the ethics. The source really centers on this, right? Autonomy versus manipulation.
That's the core tension, amplified by AI. The source tries to define right versus wrong persuasion.
So right is
transparent, you know you're being influenced, uses accurate info, encourages you to think critically, empowers your choices aligned with your values. Like, think of a good public health campaign based on solid evidence.
Okay. And wrong.
Deceptive. Coercive, exploits vulnerabilities, bypasses rational thought for the persuader's gain.
Yeah.
Predatory ads, scams, deepfakes used for disinformation, that kind of thing.
And AI just throws a wrench into all of this.
Big time. Is the AI's intent clear? Is it fair? Or does it harm certain groups through bias? How's your private data being used? And the whole truth problem with AI fakes.
The source makes a pretty chilling point based on this logic. If AI gets really good at playing on our biases or weaknesses, and there are no ethical guardrails,
then isn't the erosion of human free will a real possibility, a direct consequence? If your choices are constantly shaped by an AI that gets your patterns better than you do, are they really your choices?
that's, yeah, heavy. But it's not hopeless. The source offers solutions.
It does. It explores mitigations. It's not presented as inevitable doom.
Like what?
Well, AI explainability XAI, the idea that AI could show its work. Explain how it reached a persuasive conclusion. That transparency helps you evaluate it critically.
Makes sense. What else?
Strong AI ethics guidelines and regulation. We need rules, data privacy, algorithmic transparency, who's accountable when things go wrong.
And empowering people. Us, you.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Digital literacy and critical thinking education. Understanding algorithms, spotting manipulation. That builds resilience. It's essential now.
And how we build the AI itself.
Human-centric AI design, prioritizing well-being, autonomy, human values. Not just engagement metrics or profit. Bringing diverse ethical viewpoints in from the start.
The source even mentioned AI that can help us counter our biases, debiasing AI.
Yeah, imagine AI identifying your confirmation bias as you read news and maybe gently suggesting alternative viewpoints, helping you make more rational choices. It's a possibility.
And just talking about it, like we are now.
Yes. Public discourse, raising awareness, discussing the risks and benefits openly, that drives responsible development.
Okay, let's loop back to that core difference. Human versus AI understanding. It feels central.
It really is. Human understanding is about empathy, subjectivity, intuition, nuance, morals. We get the why, the feeling, the connection, the experience.
Whereas AI understanding is?
Data,
Yeah.
patterns, correlations, optimization, scalability. It gets the how, which inputs lead to which outputs, which message gets the click. It's analytical power.
So they're different tools. Complementary, maybe?
Exactly. AI's analysis can augment human insight. But humans provide the ethics, the values, the understanding of what truly matters. AI knows what works. Humans know why it matters.
Thinking about origins again. Persuasion is ancient. Started with the first social interactions, right? Cooperation, competition, sharing knowledge.
As old as humanity. And it's definitely still in the making. Technology, especially AI, keeps evolving the methods. Societies get more complex. But the underlying human needs and vulnerabilities, they're pretty constant.
And art? The source brings up art as a form of persuasion. That's interesting.
Super powerful. Music evokes emotion, creates shared feeling, rallies people. Paintings, sculpture, convey ideals, shape perceptions. Movies, theater, immersion, empathy. Subtly shifting how you see things.
Art often bypasses pure logic, hits you emotionally, intuitively.
Yeah, it's communication designed to evoke a response, often profoundly persuasive by tapping into that shared human experience.
The source also flags other big drivers, things that aren't persuasion methods themselves, but heavily influence how we react. Drugs, alcohol, sex, greed, lies, truth, life, death, faith.
Right. They change our state, our susceptibility. AI can analyze patterns related to these in communication data, but it can't grasp the subjective feeling of them.
And what about understanding basic human needs? Health, food, water, sleep, connection, learning, purpose, security.
AI analyzing patterns there can be really beneficial. The source uses the example of AI looking at your sleep data from a wearable and suggesting better schedules. That's persuasive, but aimed at your well-being.
So it could help personalize health advice, education, maybe design AI that's actually aligned with what humans need?
That's the potential upside. Understanding what drives us, what we concentrate on, is key to making AI that serves humanity.
Okay, so let's boil it down. What does the listener, you, really need to take away from all this? What are the actionable points?
All right. First, just be aware, really aware. AI can analyze and influence you. Know the capability exists.
Second, demand transparency, especially from algorithms shaping your information diet or targeting you.
Third, guard your data privacy. Understand that your information fuels these systems.
Fourth, and this is maybe the biggest, build your own critical thinking and media literacy skills. That's your defense.
Fifth, remember human responsibility. We are responsible for developing and deploying AI ethically.
And finally, keep that distinction clear. AI understands patterns. Humans understand through experience, values, consciousness. Don't confuse the two.
Looking at who's benefited most so far from AI understanding persuasion, well, the source points to the usual suspects.
Corporations.
Yep. Hyper-targeted ads, more profit, political campaigns using micro-targeting, social media platforms maximizing engagement, intelligence agencies for surveillance and influence.
And researchers learning more about us.
Academics, yeah.
Yeah.
Gaining insights into human behavior. It's a powerful lens.
But could AI help us become more resilient? Could it be used for good in that way?
The source suggests it's possible. Maybe AI could help spot unhealthy coping patterns you might have and suggest better ones.
Or analyze what makes people resist manipulation and help foster those traits.
Yeah, potentially, using AI's pattern recognition to support human resilience, rather than just exploit vulnerabilities.
It makes you think about why people react so differently anyway. Like humor, why one person laughs and another doesn't find it funny at all.
Context, experience, biases, emotional state, shared understanding, or lack of it. Laughter itself can be complicated. Coping, relief, genuine amusement, even resilience.
And our circumstances are just so different. Birth lottery, where we live, history, choices we make, what influences we encounter.
All of it feeds into why you react differently than someone else. AI can analyze correlations, but the why is deeply individual and complex.
Even the physical stuff matters. Brain activity, biometrics AI might track, the environment you're in, gestures, the tech infrastructure itself.
It's all connected, which loops back to that big worry about freedom. If AI gets too good at predicting and influencing,
Does it subtly steer us until our autonomy is, well, diminished?
it's a serious concern. And it makes you wonder, like the source asks, why aren't we teaching kids about this more effectively?
What are the reasons? Maybe parents don't fully get it themselves, the tech moves too fast.
Could be many things. Lack of awareness, the complexity, the digital native gap. Kids use tech, but don't always see the influence layer. Maybe wanting to protect innocence or just focusing on other school subjects. The landscape changes so rapidly.
But the takeaway is clear. We need to teach this stuff. Digital literacy, critical thinking, AI ethics from early on.
It's not optional anymore. It's fundamental citizenship in the 21st century.
So wrapping up, the source suggests that really getting all this, the history, the biology, the philosophy, and now the AI layer, it changes you. It's hard to come back to the same state of mind.
It's a paradigm shift, isn't it? You become more vigilant, maybe a bit less naive. You see the persuasive attempts everywhere. It reshapes how you see the world and yourself in it.
Underscores the need for awareness, ethical tech, resilience.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've dived deep into this tangled web of human persuasion, human understanding, and AI's computational understanding. AI is this incredibly powerful tool, huge potential for analysis, maybe even enhancing well-being.
But also posing these massive ethical challenges. Manipulation, autonomy, truth.
Considering AI's power to understand and influence us at scale and our uniquely human capacity for real understanding, empathy, ethics.
We'll leave you with this to mull over. What's your responsibility in all this? As you navigate this world, what specific steps, maybe even small ones, could you take, starting now, to boost your own resilience? To make sure your engagement with this tech empowers you rather than diminishes you?
This is DigitView.